we're going to start early, and we've only got 165 on, so quite a few are going to show up a little bit later than this. 416775, welcome to the call. Alice is in the call, Alfie's in the call, Amin's in the call. Angela's. Thank you for joining us, Angela. We've got Elise on. Welcome, Annalise. How are you? Anthony's here. Anthony Hill is here. As Gurung's here. Ava the Flavor from South Africa is here. Bell's in the house. Kane's in the house. Carol's in the house. Colin's in the house. Queen, Crypto Queen, Nesla is in the house. David, how are you? Welcome to the call. There's another David there. There's David Francis. There's Donia. There's Effie. There's Ermita. Everton. Wow. That's a football club. Well done, Everton. What a great name. Ferda, how are you? Welcome, Frankie, to the call. We've got Funeka. We've got Gabriel in the house as always. Gabriel's in more than once. Gabriel 2, Gabriel 3. How's that? Maybe you're sending out the same link. Maybe you're on a phone and a laptop. I don't know. Genevieve Gregory is on the call, as is Jared. Welcome to the call. Jared Glenn's here. As always, we've got Hanan here. iPhone. I knew you'd be here, iPhone. Where's Samsung? Hey? Any sign of Samsung? Any sign of Nokia? We've only got iPhone here so far. Let's go down the list. James, how are you? James Bond's here as well. We've got Jay here, Joshua here. We've got Juan here. Ken's here. Kevin's here. Kajel's here. Kajel, you're here twice. Well done. My voice is going. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Zooms so far. This is number 6, and I've one after this. I have 7 Zooms today. I'm really getting... Wow. I'm really getting... Lasse, how are you? Welcome to the house. Laverne's here. Lawrence is here. Legacy Group is in the house. How are you? Lynn's here as always. Manny's here. Margaretha. Okay, Mario's in the house. Mummy's in the house. I see you here. Regularly, Mummy. Nifu's in the house. Ogetchi's in the house. Pamela's in the house. PC's in the house. Praise is here. Did I say Mario? The list just jumps bigger. You know, when I talk, it just jumps way up, and then I don't know where I am. I've got, let's see, let's go on down a little bit. We've got Rajini in the house. Rand here is in the house. Randy's in the house. Raymond's in the house. Rick Jordan's here. Hi, Rick. How are you? We've got Rob here. Rose here. Who else is in the R group? Said's here. Wow. Welcome to the call. Sir Lancelot again. Welcome back to you. Sohail's here. We've got Solancho here. Spencer here. Terence, Thorstein, Tor, Toon, Torre, Torandre. Oh, where did that all jump away to? It's way up there again. The Traveling Rhinos here. Wow. Welcome to our call, Traveling Rhino. We've 192 on the call. That's jumped up 30 people since I started reading out this list. Isn't that incredible? Those people are coming late. Please get your guests here on time. We've got Zandra here. We've got Udesh here. We've got Zaga here. And, of course, you know who's here. I know who's here. Starts with Z. Not Zorro. Not Zoe. Zoom user. Zoom user's always here. No Samsung, no Nokia, but iPhone and Zoom user here. That's the important thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's call. Thank you for joining us. I feel as though I'm going to have to cough. I think I'm getting a little bit run down. I was away for about 8, 9, or 10 days in Dubai. I was over at the launch, a lot of travel, jet lag, and straight back into work. So I'm overcooking it. I'm overcooking it a bit. I'm doing too many Zooms, I think. Of course, this is probably the most important one because this is the biggest one I hold. I mean, the last Zoom I had was only 2 people on it. It was a private Zoom. I had another Zoom earlier today with 1 person on it. Then I had the whole Indian team on this morning. I had the team from the Philippines on this morning. Who else had I on? Yeah, then I had a one-to-one with Sam earlier this morning as well. So some are just small meetings, but this is the big one. So, but I'm getting a sore throat from talking, and etc. etc. Anyway, that's not your problem. That's my problem. So excuse me if I have to cough. Here we go.
Recording in progress.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this presentation. You're here possibly as a guest of a friend of yours, a colleague, maybe even a stranger invited you to have a look at this. And my job is very, very easy tonight. My job is really just to share the information with you. The slides, the opinions, The numbers I give, they're just my own due diligence, my own thoughts. It might go some way to help you decide, is this something you need to investigate further? I would always recommend to do your own due diligence. I'm going to share the due diligence I did. If that's not enough for you, please do seek professional advice, somebody that understands the industry, no matter what business you're getting involved in. It's always important to understand the industry. I keep telling people if I was going to open a taxi business, I'd want to go and talk to a taxi company, the owner. I'd want to ask them things like, well, is it difficult to get a license, and what kind of license do you require? And then I'd be asking, well, is it hard to keep drivers and maintain drivers? Is it difficult to acquire customers? What technology do you use today? What about the mapping and road system? How does that work? What about maintenance on the cars? Is that expensive? What about the taxation? These are the type of things I'd want to know if I was looking at a taxi business per se. And same here. If this is something new to you, please do seek professional advice, because I'm not an accountant. I'm just an independent educator.
February 2000.
I'm not even here to sell you anything. I can't sell you anything. I don't have anything to sell. I'm only here to talk to you. I'm only here to share an idea with you, to share my thoughts with you. And of course, do get back to the person that shared this information with you and get your very valid questions answered. That's very important. And then if you like what you see, I hope the decision you make is the right one for you and for your family. As I said, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice in that respect. As I said, I'm just here to share some information. Now, what I did like about this was this gentleman on the screen, Mr. Brian Benson. Brian Benson is a former trader with the bank known as Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley is a very reputable bank in the United States. I'm not sure if they're global. I don't know. Did they go all around the world? But Morgan Stanley is certainly a name I know. I would suggest it's a reputable bank. He worked over there. You can see that on his LinkedIn profile. He's got that green tick. The green tick on LinkedIn means that the company has verified that this was Brian Benson. This was an employee of ours. If somebody tells you, "Oh, I work with Google," well, you can go to the LinkedIn and say, "No, you didn't get the tick. Google don't know you." So, or I worked at Apple. Well, Apple haven't recognized that you work for them. So it's very important doing your due diligence to find out like who's behind the company, who's running the company, do they have experience? This is what I wanted to know. Do they have the finance to build a company like this? Do they, have they good intentions? What's the roadmap? And you'll when you see this man's 10-year roadmap, it is phenomenal. In fact, we played it before many of you joined. There was only 30 in the room when I started this tonight. And we played that video, and it's an important video. It's an important video to listen to and look at those numbers and start absorbing that, to see the vision. We need a visionary leader in every walk of life. Someone that we can rely on, somebody that we can look up to, someone that we can follow their leadership. And this gentleman has great vision for the next 10 years. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. We'll hear that from him in just a moment. But he comes from a trading background, from the banking industry. He's come from Binance. He worked there as managing director. He opened all of Central and Southern America. He opened Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Colombia, everywhere in between. And not only did he do that, he had to do the due diligence for Binance. He had to do the banking relationships. He had to open the offices. He had to do everything. And in fact, this man on the screen generated 20% of all Binance revenue at that time. Now, Binance became a billion-dollar brand. You hear this word unicorn. They came from nowhere. I mean, there was companies like Apple and Microsoft and these big names we know, Facebook. This company, Binance, reached $1 billion faster than all of those companies. And this man did 20% of that. So that tells me that this man has experience. That also tells me this man has connections. And it's probably somebody I could feel very confident about, that he knows what he's doing. He's built exchanges. He's brought Binance Pay to Binance. He brought the Lightning Network to Binance. He's well versed in this Web3 space. I think he's the right man to run the show here. Now, I Googled him and he's everywhere. You can see here, even from younger images there, it's good when you see a good profile on the client. And here we can see a modern day picture. This is used by Forbes magazine. Again, Forbes have written about this company more than once. They're telling us that they provide institutional grade trading, which is very, very important to understand what that is. That's a little bit different than what you might call the trading in the wild, wild west. This is trading that's governed, different risk management portfolios, different licensing is required. You would find the banks and the big guys would use this style of trading. And I was delighted to see that Forbes have obviously written about this. They've done their homework. You know, when they produce these rich lists, when they interview these CEOs, they have to do a lot of research. They've got to report correctly to us. So when they're telling us they're providing institutional grade trading, that's another tick in the box for me. Then I learned last year that he was invited to the Forbes Council, giving this man a lot of recognition, a lot of credibility. Why would Forbes promote this man? Why would Forbes have a whole page on this man? Because they know his worth, they know his credibility, they know his influence, they know that this man is reliable enough to have on the Forbes Council, and that's why they invited him to that. So again, that's another tick in the box as far as I was concerned. When I saw that they also had a payment solution with Visa, this is the Aurum Visa card. Again, that tells me, well, the issuing bank, who I actually know who the bank is, it's a regulated, proper bank. They have done their due diligence. They know who Brian Benson is. They know who the directors are. They've obviously checked the license, whatever else was required before they got into partnership. And again, this ticks another box. When you hear Morgan Stanley, Finance, Forbes, Visa, sounding good to me, certainly. But again, you need to do your own due diligence and seek your own professional advice. I then learned that last year he traveled the world building the brand. He was out there speaking at the world's largest summits, the largest blockchain conferences. He was one of the main speakers at Token 2049. This is the biggest blockchain event in the world. Everyone was there. You go check the videos. I think, was it Donald Trump's two sons were down at that event? We had Michael Saylor, CoinMarketCap, Binance was there. Who else? If you've heard of Tron, Justin Sun was the creator and owner of the Tron network. That's the TRC, the TRX network, his own blockchain. Brian Benson was there. And that tells me that we have a company that's not afraid to be exposed. We have a company that's sitting in the middle of an environment full of cryptocurrency experts. And to be down there building that brand, talking about AI finance, building I suppose, relationships and introducing new products to his ecosystem, looking for liquidity on the exchange. All of these reasons, this man traveled right around the world, from Argentina into to Singapore, back into Abu Dhabi for the Finance Week in the Emirates. Again, he was on stage again, speaking at many, many conferences, interviewed by the world's, well, very reputable, what we call social media influencers. Wendy O, go and have a listen to that interview. Listen carefully to her questions. Listen more carefully to his answers. You know, start doing your due diligence. And then when we see, just at the end of last year, here he is on a panel of experts. Arpit Sharma, sitting alongside Brian Benson. Now, Brian Benson's the guy we're looking at, but look who's next door. Look who's sitting right beside him. Sandbox. Yeah, the co-founder of 1inch. Look at those companies. This man is an expert in the field. No wonder, I suppose, that Forbes have invited him to this their finance council. So that gave me a lot of confidence, I've got to say. I then moved away from looking at the company to find out a little bit more about the products that they had to offer, the ecosystem that they're putting together. Again, very impressive. Now they're building out these point-of-sale terminals for shops. The difference with these machines is these accept cryptocurrency, which is quite good. You can accept fiat payments, that's your traditional money payments, but it also accepts cryptocurrency. And this is a great idea for businesses to draw in new business, maybe customers that have crypto wallets and want to buy something. Well, with this machine, it allows merchants to accept crypto payments. They're also developing ATM machines. We see that they have an exchange up and running, which is quite good as well. That's a very difficult thing to do, should I say. I was trying to rhyme out, I suppose I could Google this, but I wanted to see, could I list 10 exchanges? And I struggle because I know there's Binance and there's Coinbase and there's OKX and there's Kraken and there's KuCoin and there's Crypto.com and there's Bitmart or BitMEX, or there's MEXC. I don't know if I said that one. But I kind of get stuck around there every time. And that tells me in such a massive marketplace, it's quite difficult to have a great exchange out there. It's hard to get liquidity. And this guy already has it. It's up and running. It's in public beta test. What public beta test means is before the full launch of this, they're leaving it out there to the public to try and to test. And it's a great, great product for anybody that likes to trade, anybody that wants to swap currencies, cryptocurrencies on the exchange. That's all up and working. They have this liquidity staking product, which is sensational, really, really sensational. To be able to generate between 17 and 20% on your money on an annual basis is phenomenal. You know, better than buying a property. A property, you know, if you buy a property, you'd be very lucky to get 5 or 10% a year. How a yield on property works, just so some of you might not understand the property industry, if you bought a property for $100,000 and you rented that property out for $10,000 a year, that's called a 10% yield, because 10% of the rent is equal to 100% of the price. You know, so it's in 10 years you would have your 100,000. That's what that means, a 10% yield. That's very difficult to get. To buy a property for 100,000 and get 10,000 a year rent, it's more likely you'd buy a property for $500,000 and get 10,000 a year rent. So to get a 10% yield like that is difficult in property. But here, to get 17 to 20% a year on your money is sensational. And there's lots of people out there with a little bit of Bitcoin sitting over there doing nothing. They've maybe a wallet over there with a little bit of USDT doing nothing. They maybe a little bit sitting on exchange, a bit of XRP doing nothing, just staying in its own state. But here, to pop it in for liquidity purposes, you can withdraw at any time. There's no lock-in on your money. And the good thing is every single day they pay the rewards. These staking rewards, you don't have to leave it for a year. You can leave it for a day and take it out tomorrow. In fact, you can put it in today and take it out today if you wish. So I like that. No lockup. Your money's making you money, 17 to 20% a year. A great product for customers. And in everything I've said, I haven't even talked about some of their other products, because this is not a trading product. That's not a trading product. The point of sale terminals is not a trading product. The ATM machines is not a trading product. They have an ecosystem here developed, which is incredible. Most companies talk about making one. Oh, in 3 years we'll have this, blah, blah, blah. No. They want your money to build their tech. And I don't like those companies, you know. They're issuing nodes and miners and these machines that give you tokens that are going to be worth millions in 3 years from now. Nonsense. You can't even predict the price of Bitcoin next week. So how could you know, these are companies that need to raise money, you know, it's called an ICO, initial coin offering. I'm not a fan of those, you know, but here it appears to me that they don't need the money from the customer base. They already have this developed. They have their license. They have their office. They have their customer support. They have their payment solutions. They have their exchange. The only thing they don't have is the ATM machines right now. And they're also moving into real estate, which is interesting as well. Just last week over in Dubai, I was able to see the real estate that they're looking at with one of the top developers in Dubai. And that will be a license regulated real estate there that develops property over there. Since the 1970s. That should be a great product for anybody on this call to participate in real estate. And getting in for like $1,000 is incredible. And we can tell you more about that closer to the time. But again, that's part of a larger ecosystem, and that's what I like. So let's have a listen to Brian Benson himself. He created thousands of millionaires when he worked over at Binance, just as MD. Now a CEO, he wants to do it again. But this time he wants to be remembered. This is Brian Benson that wants to generate 1,000 millionaires. That's his goal.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, you know, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, you know, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have at Aurum actually is very similar to when I started at Binance. Now, can you imagine starting at Binance that nobody heard tell of it, and it does $1 billion in 6 months? Can you imagine the hockey stick, the growth, the exponential development of that company and how it did it? And this man was part of that. This man brought 20% of that value in his MD role of as managing director, and he feels that again. When you talk to him, he'll tell you that's what I want to do. I want to create 1,000 millionaires. I want to build out this platform, and maybe that's the visionary leader you can get behind. Maybe 1,000, maybe it doesn't make sense to you. Some people say $1 million. Like, some people don't believe they're worthy to receive that. Guys, it's not sitting on a plate. There is work to be done. There is skills you need to develop. You can be lucky, but again, don't be misled that high earnings are easily achieved. The people that are making money here are the people that are working hard here. Of course, there are systems here where your money makes you money and you don't have to do any work. We've got that element as well, and lots of people like that. But this is a nice guy, I think. He's got 2 kids, as far as I remember, and they're growing up now. But a good guy, and he's traveling the world, and he's going on tour again. He's been out in the Emirates there just last week. He's heading now, I believe, to South America, going to do Brazil and other countries, and then back across for an event in Mauritius. No, Maldives, is it? I forget. Maldives, I think it is. And my M countries aren't too good, so it's the Maldives. Yeah, it is the Maldives. So yeah, they're running an event right now, guys. If already, I think 11 people have qualified. There are 129 more places. If you qualify for a trip to the Maldives, you're able to take a guest with yourself. So flights for 2 people. They're giving you between $1,500 and $2,500 towards your flights. We just checked flights tonight. From here, there's $600 right now return. So it's not bad right now, but you'll get $1,500. So that $1,500 at this time, if they were booked, would cover 2 flights for you. I suppose it depends where you're going to try and get those flights from. There's also a qualification to get $2,500 towards your flights. But once you get to Maldives, I don't think you're going to need any money once you arrive. It'll be a very high class 5-star resort. You'll be picked up at the airport. You'll be in a beautiful location. You'll be hanging out with the likes of Brian Benson and the corporate staff and learning more about this company and the direction it's going. And that qualification is in your back office now. You'll see it under the promotion tab. And to qualify, I mean, you can cover that at training. But it's worthy that if you used that as I suppose, a catalyst to drive your business. If you said, I'm going to qualify for the Maldives, in doing so, in putting that effort and that action into place, not only would it get you over there and help you move, but it will generate sales, it'll generate business for you, it'll generate volume for you, it'll put you up the ranks in doing all of this. So it's a worthy thing. It's like a goal. We're in January. That's when most people set goals. You should set goals every day. In fact, tonight before you go to bed, you should say, hey, what am I going to do tomorrow? And have that written down. And when you get up tomorrow morning, say, hey, what was it I said I was going to do? And go through that list and kid it. That's how I work. I just write a list tonight, what needs done tomorrow. I prioritize that list. Tomorrow when I wake up, what am I doing? And then I'm on schedule and off I go. So, to run a reasonably professional business, you've got to be on point. You've got to treat it like a business if you want to develop a business. Now, moving on, let's tell you about the cost of business. And here it's just $20 for the whole year. Quite incredible. It means anybody on the planet could really have an opportunity here for $20. What is that? 4 cups of coffee? People pay more to go into the gym, to go to the movies. Here, you've got an international fintech business at your disposal for $20 a year. I think that's exceptional. This gives you access to a variety of other products. The people's favorite, I believe, is the Aurum EXI bot. It's been around for 3 years, doing exceptionally well. And I think in 2.5 years, it did over 500%. And the good thing here is you don't have to trade yourself. You don't have to learn how to trade. It's all done by AI. If any of you've tried ChatGPT, you can just type anything in there and it just brings it up in seconds. The AI is much faster than human speed. It can pull on 10,000 pieces of data in a split second. It can act faster. It doesn't have emotions. There's so many advantages. And I've just been told that 80% of all companies worldwide, the big banks, the big companies, they're all using AI now. And I'm also told that this company was offered $100 million for this technology way back 2 years ago, and they said no to it. If you go to Forbes, you can read about it that Brian Benson closed a $12 million VC. VC means venture capitalist. They funded this bot with $12 million at the outset to test it. And I think it was the same people that wanted to buy it after 4 months. And I suppose they didn't sell it. Now, that was in 2023. I never heard about it. And in a year and a half later, in September 24, my understanding is that they decided to open an affiliate plan. And the idea was, if they were going to launch an exchange in the future, by the way, they've already done that, but back in 2024, when they were deciding to launch an exchange, the idea to generate a lot of customers, a lot of user base, a lot of community, where they need a lot of wallet holders, token holders. The idea was that an affiliate program would expand that. So in 2024, I think was the instigation of Aurum going to the retail market. Prior to that, it was reserved for what we call accredited investors, for the big guys, you know. And anyway, I never heard about it in 2024. I heard about this in 25, about April time of 2025. And anybody I've spoken to have told me that it works really, really well. It's well proven, well tested, and I like a product that's been around for a while. Sometimes these new products that they're here and gone, something that's going to show any mechanism of sustainability, it's got to prove itself over a number of years. And this product, they have trading data going back to 2023. In fact, somebody told me when they were looking at the trading accounts, they asked to see the first deposit to this bot. And I think it was in February 2023 when they initiated this. And it's still going today. So that's all good news. And how it actually works is, I think the fund itself generates about 17.5% for the company, but you and I wouldn't be able to get those kind of benefits. Your benefits would be determined by the deposit you make to your own account. So how this works is, they're going to have on Apple Pay and on Google Play, you can download their native app. I think it's on the Google version right now. It's not on Apple. They're still waiting for the final approvals. But once it hits that, you download this banking app. It'll be called the Aurum Neo Bank. And in there, they give you 8 wallets, and you can just fund those wallets. They're your accounts. And then you can decide, to try something like this. So let's say you tried, let's say $120, okay? That falls into the basic category. Those customers are generating approximately 10% a month, which is fabulous. If you can manage more than that, let's say you're able to do, $400 or $700 or anything between $249 and $999, that would fall into the second category, the standard category. Those customers are going to enjoy in around 10% a month, which is 11%, which is slightly better. And as you can see, obviously, the higher the deposit you put to the account, the better the potential benefit for you that is. So, my question about this was, when I looked at it, was, well, how does the company make money? If they're paying out all this money to the customer, where does the company get its money? And I was told the answer was on the screen, and I didn't know what they meant at that stage, but now I do. If the fund is generating 17.5% a month, and these customers are getting 10% of that, the company retain the spread. They get the benefit as well. So they're making about 7% on all of those accounts. And most people probably are going to have certainly start off with a small account, I would suggest. For those customers who are getting 11%, you can see the company's making 6 on those accounts. For those that are enjoying 12, the company makes 5. For those that get 13, etc., you can see here the company's always making, in every instance, the company's getting its little clip on profits. And that's how business works. I think it's important that the company also make money. If you're looking for longevity, if you're looking for a company that's going to stand up, it needs to be making money at the same time. So I thought this was very good. My next question was, can you take the money out? And I was told you can take the profits out anytime you want. So as long as you're not putting them into trade, you can withdraw your profits any day and every day. There's no problems there. My next question was, what about principal? And I was told that you can take out your principal if it's urgent on the first day of every month, on the 10th day of every month, and on the 20th. And I said, well, why is that? Why can you not take it out when you want it? And they said because the money will be sitting over at Binance in the trading fund, or it could be an OKX or Kraken, wherever yours is designated to. They trade on the big exchanges. And they said, you just can't instantly appear money. They have to maybe close down some trades. You have to book that across. You have to move it on the blockchain, and then it hits your wallet. So when I was told that, it made sense then that you could take it out on the 1st and the 10th and the 20th of every single month. And lots of people have tried that. There is a penalty if you do that inside the first 12 months, but it's kind of after 10 or 12 weeks, that doesn't matter. You're kind of covered. So you can learn more about that at trading. My next question was, what is the cost of withdrawals? I mean, are they going to penalize you? Are they going to, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. I've seen some platforms that charge like 10% fee for the withdrawal, which is ridiculous. This is 1%, which is incredible. 1% withdrawal fee. So I was very, very impressed with that. Now, there are 7 of these bots, guys, and I've only really been talking about one of them. This presentation is really an overview. It's not to give you every nut and bolt. It's just to give you a flavor of here's the company, here's the products, and here's the opportunity. It's not to go into every nut and bolt. You can do that at the training calls and stuff like that they operate. But it's just a general overview. Now, I was able to get my hands on a couple of accounts here. This one is a small account in my books. It started with $500 back in 17th of April last year, 2025. Can you see that? It was created 17th of April. The account is not $500. It says here inside this oval shape, it says 882. So it's made actually 382. If 500 was deposited and the balance is now 882, the profit is 382. So your question to me is, well, how long did it take to get from 500 to 880? The answer to that question is right on the bottom right-hand corner. And if you look downside, you'll see this. The screenshot here is taken on 9:36, 9 o'clock in the evening, on the 17th of September. So if the account was created on the 17th of April, and we're now looking at the 17th of September in this example, that's 5 months. And 5 months, this account has produced 76%, which is sensational. You're not going to find that in any bank. You're not going to find that in any real estate deal. You're not going to find that if you buy gold. 76% for a small account like that, I think that's exceptional. Of course, you can start with $100 if you wanted to test this. But I thought that was very good results for a small account. I was then able to see a larger account. This customer had done $10,000. Let's have a look at this one. This was created on the 10th of April. Can you see that? The 10th of April. So it was actually a week before that one. That one was the 17th of April, but the week before this account was created, and it was a $10,000 deposit. Again, you can see that it had made $2,360 in profits. And your question would be, well, how long did it take to make $2,360? The answer is in the bottom right-hand corner. Can you see there? On the 16th of May. So if this account was created on the 10th of April, and we're now looking at the 16th of May, that's 5 weeks. Just a little bit short of 5 weeks. So we took a snapshot of that to get some performance history, just to be able to correlate some data, just like Forbes would do. They generate data and who's the richest people. We just wanted to track an account here to see how it performed. And you can see here in 5 weeks, it made 23%. Sensational. Now, the next time we were able to get a look at this was the 24th of June. Can you see that over here? 24th of June. The account jumped up another $2,200. It went from, no, $3,200. It went from 12,000 up to 15,000. A total of 55% in 10 weeks. Now, the profit element was 5,500 because the customer actually deposited 10,000 initially, so we can't call that all profit. The profit element was $5,500, which is very good. In 10 weeks, that's 500 a week. No customers, no Zooms. This is just your money working for you rather than going out to work for your money. So when you can get a system like that your money makes you the money, then that can be a very beneficial place to be. Now, the next screen grab was taken on the 10th of July last year, and we can now see the same account. Look, it's the same account number, 1972, commencing 10th of April. Look at it now. It's up another $2,000. So after 12 weeks, the account had made 74%, and lo and behold, on the 10th of August, the same account had doubled in its value. The 10,000 now had generated an extra 10,000, which is pretty incredible. Now, I'm not here to tell you that your account will do the exact same in the same time frame. I suppose it really depends on which account and what you're trading, but I can see the values changing here. I can also see that this account is compounding. Maybe your account doesn't. So um, again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but this is certainly very, very respectable performance, I would say. I can see that the withdraw button is off here. Can you see? Look down here, it's grayed out, and that was on the 16th of May. I can also see on the 24th of June, you can't withdraw. Do you see that? It's grayed out. But look right up here on the 10th of July, it's blue, and on the 10th of August, it's blue. Do you know why that is? You might remember me saying that you can withdraw on the 1st, 10th, and 20th. So on the 10th, yes, you could, but on the 24th, that's not the 1st or 10th or 20th. On the 16th, that's not the 1st. So the profit can come out every day, but the principal can only come out 1st, 10th, and 20th. So again, I'm just trying to cover all the bases as best I can in the short time I have with you here. Now, the same account we were able to see on the 10th of December. Now, this is after 8 months. Look at that same account. Starting on the 10th of April, it's up to 39,000. Let's go back. Here we go. It went from 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 20 in 4 months. The next 4 months, it doubled again. 39,000 in 8 months. And again, in 9 months, we're going now looking at the 10th of January. 9 months, the same account is up to $46,000. And we're going to be able to get another look at this on the 10th of February. We'll get an update to this account to see where it goes. And funny enough, a couple of nights ago, I was able to check it. There was over 50,000 in it already. So that's 5x in less than 10 months, which is really, really good. You can see this customer is now getting more confident. They have other deposits here of 25,000 and 81,000 trading. So a lot of confidence coming into the market here. But I was just featuring this one particular account. That was the 1972 account convention on the 10th of April. Just something to track. So with that said, that is the EXI bot. I believe it's everybody's favorite. There are other bots there as well. They have different, I suppose, different features. For those of you that don't want to swap your Bitcoin into USDT, you can actually trade Bitcoin against the dollar by itself. So that's called the Zeus bot. You can find out more about that later. And again, the performance here is slightly, I suppose maybe it's only half of what that EXI bot does. And I think that's why people favor that one. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this card that I showed you earlier. A fantastic product with no KYC requirements on the black card. They're going to have 4 different cards available later this year. They're going to have a card available at $33 with no monthly fees. They're going to have one at $66 with no monthly fees, one at $99. These are virtual cards. But the one I was showing you, this one, is $249, and you get the virtual card and the physical card in that package. No KYC. You can put up to 100,000 a month on it. You can import your cryptos from anywhere, so you don't have to have it trading. You could bring, let's say, it's some USDT on, I don't know, where do you keep money? Exodus. Where else is there? Trust Wallet is one of them. MetaMask is one of them. Coinbase, Binance. You can import your USDT to your Aurum bank account, and then press top up and send it straight onto the card. So you don't need to trade it. You just bring it in and put it onto the card. And that means you don't have to go and find an exchanger. You don't need to go and, get somebody to cash you out. You just put it onto your Visa card and go spend it. So a great, what I call, off-ramping solution. And that's already in place. And I know customers have had this from June 25. So it's been working quite well for quite a long time. It also works on Apple and Google Play. I've just learned how to use it. You click this little button twice and it pops up. So I didn't know how to set that up, but very recently, in fact, last week, somebody showed me how to do that. Now, I don't know how to do it, but I know how to click the little button. I don't know how to get it to do that. I don't know how to get it on that, but I know to click the button twice, it comes up and you just bang and it works and crazy stuff. I've never used that type of system before until last week. Anyway, let's keep moving. I'll show you the card working. This is one of the second transactions ever done in the United Kingdom. This gentleman was trading. He stopped his trading bot in this instance, and he sent the profit up onto his card. And then he went down to the shop to get milk to see would it work. And off he went.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Thank you.
So there you go. Imagine the ability to spend cryptocurrency anywhere in the world that accepts Visa and Mastercard. I mean, it's just an insane product, incredible product, and it's also been tested at the ATM machines. It's really, really, really good. So that's our presentation over. I want to thank you all for logging in, having a look. Again, I highly recommend to seek professional advice. Maybe go speak to an accountant or somebody who understands business a little bit more if you've never been in business before. It's all the hallmarks of something very, very, very special here. They also have an affiliate program, if you don't mind. Somebody asked me would I talk you through that for a moment. So for those of you who'd like to see the affiliate program, you're welcome to stay on. For those of you that have no interest in that part, you're very welcome to go. But let's take a quick look at the affiliate program. This is quite interesting. Affiliate programs are very popular today. I know that probably the best one out there would be the Amazon one. Amazon have an affiliate program which is very popular. I know that Apple have one as well, and many of the businesses that you know, brands that you know, you probably don't realize they all have affiliate programs. And if you go to the bottom of any website, you'll see that affiliate link, and you click that. And really, what it means is if you liked a product, let's say you like Apple as a product or as a brand, and you recommended a customer to go maybe check out some Apple products on their website, if they use your affiliate link, and it doesn't cost anything, it doesn't cost anything here either. This is free with Aurum. It's free with Apple, but if somebody clicked that referral link and went and bought a product on Apple Store, you get a reward, and it's just like a thank you bonus for bringing them a customer. That's all it is. There's a competitor to this called Crypto.com, and they spend millions of dollars advertising everywhere in there. They even advertised on the Super Bowl, and I don't know, did they get any customers off that? When you're watching the Super Bowl and Crypto.com comes up in a flash, I mean, you just see Crypto.com, you don't jump off your seat and go get Crypto.com. It's branding. It doesn't really get a customer. This company have decided not to spend money on TV, radio, Google ads, and that type of thing. They'd rather reward a customer who's enjoying these products to tell another customer, hey, and the same way you do this every day of your life. If somebody came into your house and said, hey, I've got a leak in the bathroom, I can't find a plumber. Do you know a good plumber? You go, yeah, hold on, let's see, can I get you my guy? And they would ring them up and, hey, my neighbor, here's a problem, any chance you're available? You have a chat here. Wouldn't you make that recommendation of a good plumber? The ladies would recommend a hairdresser. The guys would talk about a car mechanic. That's the same thing here. If somebody asked you, do you know any good holiday destinations? Guys, we're walking, talking advertising machines. By the clothes you wear, you're advertising those clothes. He likes Hugo Boss. She likes Michael Kors. Yeah. She likes Gucci. Look at that guy. He's Adidas. He's Nike. So look, this guy drives a Toyota. That tells people you like Toyota, you like Range Rover, you like whatever it is. So we are walking, talking advertising machines. We never get paid for it. This company's happy to give you a little handshake every time you find them a customer that might like to try some of their products. When you start here, it's free, but as long as you have a live bank account with the neobank, you start as a Nova and you get 3% on any deposits from customers that use your referral link. It's simple. You could have 1 customer, 2 customers, 4 customers. You could have 9 or 90 or 900. Doesn't matter. And you don't have to have any. It's not obligatory to have any customers. But for those of you that like the products, it's a way to generate a little bit of income. You get 3%. It's not much, but it's fine. For those of you that like 5%, well, all you need to do is generate 7,500 of total trading volume in all of your customer base. Not just the customers you've referred, but even the ones that they do and they do and they do, to the entire genealogy of customers. Once that reaches 7,500 of trading volume in that EXI bot, you get an automatic pay rise. And instead of getting 3% on deposits, you're now enjoying 5% on deposits. That's the pay rise. But you also get a $100 instant cash bonus by smart contract. You can take that out immediately. You can put it onto the card if you've got one and go shopping. You could add it to the trading bot and get that 100 to grow. It's just, I think it's very, very good, very, very fair. You also get a 5% daily matching bonus on the profits generated by your customers. Now, this comes from the market. This is coming from Binance, from KuCoin, from OKX. As these customers generate profits, there's a 5% reserve held for you. So as long as you've got this Voyager rank, you get a daily payment of 5% equal to the profits generated by your customer base. But not just your frontline customers. Theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs, all the way to infinity levels. There are no levels, actually. They're not 7 levels or 5 levels or 10 levels. It's not multi-level. It's all customers to infinity, as long as you hold the riding rank of Voyager. Now, if you want 7%, well, all you need is a little bit more volume and a little bit of what we call structure. To go Vanguard, you require 2 people that have reached the Voyager level, but you don't have to introduce them yourself. They can be found anywhere in your team, anywhere in depth, as long as these 2 Voyagers are on 2 different lines. Once that's achieved and 25,000 of total team trading volume, boom, you get a pay rise. You're on 7% on all deposits. You get a 500 instant cash bonus, and now you get 7.5% daily matching bonus on the profits of all customers to infinity, as long as you're the only Vanguard and Voyager in the business. Now, let's say one of your customers, somewhere on the line, ranked up to Voyager. Well, what that means is you'll get 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Once you come to them, you get 7.5 on them. But when they're a Voyager, they're going to get 5% on the rest. You get 2.5 override on all of their customers to infinity generations. If you've got other customer lines that are open that are no ranks, you're getting that full 7.5% on all the trading profits of all of those customers. Really, really good compensation plan. You'll find more about this in the training. And if you understand what I've just said on those first 3 ranks, you understand 90% of this compensation plan. The good news is you don't have to understand it to make it work. It's already working. The software knows how it works. It's a bit like your car. You don't know how it works. You don't know how the engine does all that magic, but it takes you from A to B. It takes you from your house to the shop. This vehicle is a financial vehicle that takes you from where you are today financially to where it is you'd like to be. And with that said, there are more ranks than that. I do like these cash bonuses, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 instant cash bonuses. These come with each rank achievement. At Oracle, you get we call it a shareholder bonus. So the company reserved 3.175% of all trading profits from the entire customer base, not just your customer base. And now you can tap into profits generated by the whole world global sales. But you've got to hit that Oracle rank to achieve that. That's a bonus that's paid out every quarter. There are 8 more ranks. That's just 7 of them. It's not levels. These are ranks. When you hit elite, you get this 20,000 cash bonus. There's a 50K bonus, 100K, 150. And of course, if you'd like to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, and we heard that earlier, he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. Well, all you need to do is take that journey all the way right up to Dominion. And I can tell you, when you've hit Dominion, in fact, before you get Dominion, I would say you're one of Brian Benson's millionaires. Yeah. $500,000 cash bonus, plus the 150 is 650, plus the 100 is 750, plus the 50 is 800,000, plus the 20 is 820,000, plus the first page, plus these direct bonuses, plus these matching bonuses, plus this. Wow. It's a 2-page comp plan. It's very simple. You don't have to understand it to make it work. But please do get back to the person that shared this information with you. Get your very valid questions answered. And if this is something that suits you, by all means, we welcome you on board.